So the agency model has definitely evolved quite a bit, and it will always continue to evolve. The agency model, we're seeing a lot of that digital marketing services start turning into SaaS, right? So thanks to UpHex and a combination of Go High Level, we are now able to very easily basically have that sweet middle ground where it can be full done for you services, or it can be done with you or do it yourself.
All right, well, let's go ahead. We'll get started here. So that way, Forrest, you got the full hour to take it away. Real quick, so everybody, so today's Ask Me Anything is actually going to be run by Forrest rather than Sam today. Sam is ditching us for Hawaii, so lucky him, he gets to avoid the wintry weather and head off to a much nicer place. But Forrest, you were one of our first UpHex users, right? You started with us. When did you start with us?
It was June or July I came on board.
Yeah, you were one of our beta users. You were one of our beta users. And Forrest has been using UpHex for a while now, and he's had a lot of really great success in building an agency, really using UpHex from the ground up. He's got a lot of wealth of information that he's been able to accumulate, and we're just really excited to have Forrest here to do this Ask Me Anything. And we get a lot of questions from especially new people that are both new to both Go High Level, new to UpHex, new to Facebook. So this is going to be an awesome opportunity for you guys to learn from somebody who has done it, right? He started from the beginning and is now being successful going forward. So we're really excited here to have Forrest. And I mean, your agency's exploded. You're doing so much stuff right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a lot of up and downs, a lot of headaches, still a lot of headaches, but it's coming along, that's for sure. So
perfect. All right, well, let's turn the time over to Forrest. If you've got anything you want to start off with, and then from there, it's just a normal Ask Me Anything. So just unmute yourself, ask your question, and then Forrest will take it from there. So have at it.
Fantastic. And just a quick little reminder, guys, this is going to be more focused on, really just growing the agency, not too much support. I can answer some Go High Level questions and some UpHex questions, but try to reserve those for the DMs. So any questions you guys have?
How long have you been doing this for?
I started doing digital marketing back in 2017. So it's been a hot minute. And I still feel like a beginner, honestly. I'm still constantly learning new things. So yeah. How about how long you've been in?
I'm just starting now. So
okay.
Yeah, well, and I feel like every week I just feel like how much I know is just completely different.
Yeah, it will. A couple years in, it still feels like that every day, every week. I'm finding something new. I'm like, holy cow, how did I not know this from you? So it's fun. It can be very exciting.
Hi, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How's it going?
Okay, good. Can you see me? Because I can't see myself.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, good. Okay, so I had a little bit of a problem with the video, so I didn't get your name. I'm sorry.
I'm Forrest.
Forrest. Hi, Forrest. I'm Ronan.
Nice to meet you, Ronan.
Nice to meet you, brother. Yeah, I thought that Sam Carlson was going to be here, but I guess it's Forrest. You're going to be giving the talk today.
I'm going to be doing my best with it. Yes.
Okay, good.
Hopefully that's all right.
Okay, brother. I appreciate that. I wanted to ask you a few questions. Before, I guess, I give you an intro. I don't know if this is the right time to do it or it will be later on.
Shoot with the questions. I'll do my best to answer it.
Okay. So I guess the way that I ended up here is, I owned a Montessori school for 12 years. And then I took some time off and been researching what to do, and I decided on the agency route. And I watched a video from this guy in the Philippines, and he turned me on to Nelson, Josh Nelson, and I was going through the roadmap and I saw the link to Go High. And so what I've been doing for the past week is really delving in deeply and getting everything I can so that I know what I'm doing, because, you know, I'm kind of new to this. So, you know, it's very different than obviously running a Montessori school. And then the next thing that happened is that Carl Nelson, Sam's videos popped up. And on Sam's video, I don't know if he would be able to answer any of these questions. He has a couple of different websites that he does. One of them is Patient Stream.
Mhm.
And on Patient Stream, he made a webinar. And on the webinar, he was talking about quite a different model than what everyone else is talking about. And that model is the do-it-yourself model to the doctors.
Yeah.
And so I got two questions on that. The first question that I have on that is on the actual system. It seems, if I'm seeing it correctly, it's a combination of UpHex and Go Meeting, where he combines it all together, and then he onboards them by training them. And that's the first question, because I'm not sure on that. And the second question that I wanted to ask is this new model that we're talking about, where I guess it's the do-it-yourself model. Would that be in combination to the traditional agency model together with SaaS now, you know, using the Go High? Or is it a total transition that your company is heading in that direction? I just would love to hear, you know, your thoughts on that. What, you know, where do you think the industry is going? And then I guess I do have another question. As a newcomer to the industry, it looks like the number one skill that I need to learn is sales. And, you know, from what I understand, because I have no social proof, never done any social media, from what I'm gathering, the route that I would need to take would be cold outreach, demos, strategy sessions, and the close kind of thing. And now that I understand that this is probably, in order for me to be successful in this business, I need to be an expert at this. So this is where I am at this stage of everything. So in terms of everything I said, I would love to hear your thoughts on.
Yeah, so the agency model has definitely evolved quite a bit, and it will always continue to evolve. The agency model, we're seeing a lot of that digital marketing services start turning into SaaS, right? So thanks to UpHex and a combination of Go High Level, we are now able to very easily basically have that sweet middle ground where it can be full done for you services, or it can be done with you or do it yourself, where you simply train someone on how to use your software and you're able to basically give them that login and password so that they can go and apply what they've learned in your training material, right? But when it comes to, I think you should go and check out Go High Level's YouTube channel. They have a lot of great training with people for sales, setting up Go High Level. I know Sam has talked with Sean, the owner of Go High Level as well, and they've talked about how UpHex and Go High Level basically work together. So I would go check out High Level's YouTube channel, and you'll find a ton of different resources and ton of very valuable resources there as well.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does answer my question, but if I may take it another step, just so that I can get more clarity.
Yeah,
It's okay with you, Forrest.
go for it.
Okay, you have are you taking an active part in the sales part of it?
Right now, in my current position, not really, but in the next week or two, I will be in my agency.
You will be, okay. So if you were in my shoes and you were just starting out, can you um, go over of some steps of what you would do in terms of prospecting, how you would do it? Now, the niche that I'm choosing, I don't know if it's going to work or not, is psychology, because my wife is a psychologist. So how would you go about prospecting them? That's the first question. Second question is, how would you, once you get a hold of them, how would you present them, and how would you do? I would love to hear it from you, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you pick a really good niche. When I first started, I realized pretty early on that I needed to pick a niche that I had experience in and that I was familiar. Like I knew the lingo, so I could jump right in and kind of blend in with the crowd a little bit, right? So that's why I started out in real estate. Then I transitioned over to life insurance because I've sold life insurance. When it comes to prospecting, or I guess to finish that thought, I always tell people when you're picking a niche, look for what you've done in the past or what you really are passionate about and dive headfirst into everything and really figure out what the problem is that you can solve in that niche, and if you can create a sub niche within it, right? When it comes to prospecting, psychologists want to be found, right? Because they're looking for clients themselves. So I would just go to those Facebook groups. I'd search them online and start scraping emails and finding them on LinkedIn for cold emails as well as cold DMs, and posting content as well, talking about, hey, this is a problem. Here's a solution that we're crafting and we're putting together. Would that be interesting for someone, right? And simply talking about the problem and talking about the solution and practically giving away the farm when you're talking about that solution as well.
Giving away the what? Giving away the what?
The solution.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so right now I'm crafting my own web analytics software. And the problem that we are focusing on is being able to accurately identify who is coming to a website and then take that data and make it usable, right? Use the email for a cold email, send that information back over to marketing platforms, right? So capturing the data or not being able to capture the data is the problem. And the solution is capturing the data and putting it to work. So by talking about, hey, this is a problem, here's how it can be fixed, or here's what you can do once it's fixed, gives me plenty of traction on LinkedIn, and it starts lots of conversations about what we're doing to be able to fix that and how we're solving it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but starting out, cold email and reaching out to people on Facebook and LinkedIn. LinkedIn will probably be the best platform for you. So LinkedIn and then cold email is probably going to be the best source to start prospecting.
And when you say DM, that's like sending a message on Messenger. Hey, my name is Ronan. This is what I do. Just like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Cold, even if we're not friends.
Even if we're not friends.
Whoa. Okay, that's going to be kind of. That's a new skill. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then obviously take it from there.
Absolutely.
Then the next step would be to do the I guess the 10 minutes asking them questions, kind of like consultant. And
Yeah,
then
figuring out what that pain point is, right? Hey, so you're a psychiatrist. I'm sure right now you're either getting a ton of prospects or you don't have enough. Oh, you don't have enough? Well, tell me about that. What is that like? Well, it can be a little frustrating because I know there's lots of people who need my service, but I just can't seem to pin anyone down when I'm talking to them. Well, I'm sorry you're going through that. How long have you been going through that? Oh, the past year, couple months. Okay, well, again, I'm sorry to hear that. I'd love to talk to you about what I do to help psychiatrists. So when you're waking up in the morning or you're going about your day, where are you feeling that pain of like, oh, I can't find clients? Is it in your chest? Is it in your head? Does it make your skin crawl? And basically, and they should know what you're doing, right?
Right.
Basically, you're making them relive that exact moment in their day where it is the most painful, right? I sit on my bed, I can feel it in my chest. I need to send more cold emails. I need to have more conversations, yada, yada. Yeah, you absolutely, yeah, you do. I'm sorry you're going through that. And I'm excited to show you what we have going on. So if it's okay with you, I'll share my screen and we can kind of go through these steps of how you're struggling to get clients right now, but we'll show you how to close people with our framework and how to fill up your calendar so that you can start building your own practice. Is that okay? And then just go right in.
would love to, yeah. Okay. So at this point, you would go through the strategy session, so you don't have like a break in between. So it's not necessarily a must to break. It depends on the current situation. If she's able to jump on a strategy session, you would do it right away.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the very beginning, so more than likely your calendar is nice
Open.
and open, right? Where I may be sitting there like, okay, let me see if I can get a teammate on here. Let me see if I can get them in next day or two, right? Maybe I can stay a little bit later that day and talk to them.
Got you. I got you.
But yeah, if they are free and available to chat right then and there, absolutely. Absolutely, because you're going to only build that connection a little bit more. And even if it's, oh, I only have 2 minutes, just call me through the Messenger app. Just talk to them on the phone, hear them out, and then schedule something. Because you're now a person that they've talked to, right?
Exactly. And let me ask you about the video. I mean, how important is
And
that?
actually, real quick, because we do have quite a few people that are on the
Okay,
Zoom.
got you. Okay, well, thank you
So
so
we
much.
can make this your last question, and then we just in case other people have some other questions here.
So this is the last question. Is about is about, you know what? Let other people do it now. And if I have time, I'll ask later on. But thank you so much. This is recorded, right? It will be on YouTube.
Yes.
Yes, this will be posted to YouTube.
Okay, awesome. So let other people do it, and then if we have time later on, I may think of other questions. Thank you so much, Forrest.
Of course.
Awesome. Really great answers. Thank you.
All right. And I see here in the chat, yes, the ads lab and lead post does capture that data. We're going to be beating them on quality. I'm very excited about it. Absolutely blow them out of the water. So stay tuned, guys. Let's see. Yeah, bring it on, Matthew. Let's go. What's your question for me?
So thank you for doing this. I appreciate your input.
The pleasure is all mine.
So maybe I'll framework where I am and then take it back over to your side.
Okay.
I run a $2 million agency. we bring on about 15 new social media clients a month with traditional social media accounts, roughly about $1,000 a month client. So we grow by about 10 to 15 grand a month in additional recurring revenue. Monday, we started with UpHex to start to do SaaS. I'm looking to add about 10 new clients a week for SaaS going forward, to adjunct our additional, 3 to 5 that we bring on per week. So what's been your experience in the best way to onboard that type of threshold? That's our biggest challenge, is just, I think, is the onboarding process. And I think, when you pick up a customer per day in what we're doing, we're kind of get to a certain level where it's like, that's the choppiness. And I don't necessarily understand if the automation of all these sequences makes the onboarding of the customer like an easier process, or am I kind of running in the same thing, which is they still need to be, after they've signed, they still need to be kind of like an hour with them to just get them situated with the team. That seems to kind of like be a necessary evil in this business.
Yeah. So,
or maybe from your experience, I mean, I think again, I don't know your position or or if you're just holding the contact, this because Sam's flying or something. I didn't know because I missed the beginning.
So I'm hosting the call today. I've been with UpHex for a hot minute and absolutely love the group. I've been using Go High Levels pretty close to the beginning for them as well.
Yeah, Chase Buckner was my VP of Ops for 5 years, by the way, before he went to Go High Level.
So when it comes to the actual onboarding process for SaaS specifically, is your question, right?
Yeah, I just wondered what's your experience been. It seemed like you had another agency that might have been running UpHex before this. I don't understand where your trajectory was, so I'm trying to figure out if there's some knowledge that you could, give on that.
Yeah, so I went from digital marketing over to SaaS, and then I'm getting into deeper water of SaaS right now. Thankfully, because I'm a little bit more on the back burner with a couple of the deals I have. Ronan, can you put yourself on mute for me?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So transitioning to SaaS, onboarding people was very tricky at the beginning because it seems like there's a lot of busy steps in order to make that onboarding process nice and smooth. What I ended up doing is automating the onboarding process for their Go High Level account, but more specifically, making sure that they go through real training on how the snapshot functions or how the platform functions. So when we onboarded someone, we would actually have our automation reset their permissions to deny everything. They could log in, but they would have zero access to pretty much everything. And that was because we would send them a membership training. We tried to keep it under 30 minutes or so of videos where they had to complete each section of those videos. And at the end, fill out a little form saying, hey, this is who I am. I did complete it. And then they actually have that little signature field and they sign off. And that would then trigger their permissions to be reset. They'd get a text saying, hey, you have full access. And now they have access to the platform and the training's all built in.
I think I'm going to do that with our SMMA clients. It's the same thing.
Yeah, some clients will throw a little hissy fit about it. And those are normally the same ones that like to have a lot of questions. And that's exactly why all that training is there, right?
Fascinating. And are you still running that agency?
So I am in a very thankful position where we actually ended up merging with another company. And so I'm helping with all the tech on the back end, some of the ad copy. So I'm more on the back burner right now, which I'm enjoying.
That's cool. Two other questions and I'll let other people have the floor. One, obviously the thing that I think about is how to shortcut all that in between stuff. And those training modules that are done by you for loading them into the system. were those pre-recorded that you've done, and were they kind of like honed over time where you got them to a point where you feel like they're really, decent?
So yes and no. We're always making updates to the snapshot, so that training is changing over time. But it originally just started out as a normal help library where they would get access to
Right.
it, but they still have access to everything. But once we made that switch, it was most of it was already there. So now it's just a matter of making it required.
Is that something that, because you're kind of now part of UpHex and we see the position to change, sort of like, is that stuff that you're bringing to help people like us to administer or share with us so that we can like better onboard? Because to me, that's our biggest, hurdle to bring on new accounts, is just the onboarding process, right? So it's like, I don't know if that's where your thoughts are, but that type of stuff for me would be gold, because I could go from because I pitched 3 people yesterday, they'll probably come aboard, and I'm like dreading what I have to go through. And I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to get it all built into a system. And then I could go to, like, again, manually doing it, to then bringing on about 10 a week. That's what my goal is to do.
Yeah, an onboarding process, a streamlined onboarding process is absolutely key. There was a training that Sam did very close to the first couple of weeks I joined UpHex, and he talked about how one of his, I think it was a client using UpHex, or maybe a buddy of his, basically had a prolonged like onboarding process. He would take people through
Yeah.
onboarding for like 2 weeks or so. And it made me, that's when I sat back and was like, now I don't want to take 2 weeks, because life insurance agents can make their money back with our system in 24 hours if they really wanted to. But we definitely need to slow down the process so that we're not hitting that learning curve so hard. And that's where that membership required training came into play.
Just one question about the membership. Did you make it part of a system, like a traditional membership system that would be in a platform, and not necessarily go high level, but in a typical membership platform, like a Buddy Boss or a Zenforo or any of these other systems, or was it part of go high level?
It was in my primary Go High Level account, and that way I could track everyone and see what their completion rates, or how often they were logging in, or the most frequently viewed videos, right? But yeah, it was all built in with that onboarding process. So our full onboarding process was taking us, including assigning the user, it was probably around like 2-3 minutes.
Interesting. Cool. And then one last thing, what is the cost that you charged your agencies monthly?
So when I first rolled with UpHex, it was a full do-it-yourself. So it was, I think I started out at 165.
Okay.
And then as we continued putting more people into the system, got more testimonials, got more results, I started bumping up the price until we found that nice sweet spot.
Yeah. I think it's the do you do the free trial thingy up front, and that's been our biggest conundrum. We're not doing a free trial yet, but I'm thinking about it. So whatever.
Yeah, I think it depends on the niche and the offer. With what we had going on, we had testimonials of clients coming in, and within 24 hours, they'd made a couple grand off of our couple $100 setup. And so most people, I told them, look, we don't need a free trial. Like, if it's really that bad, I'll refund you your money. But you're going to come in, you're going to love the program, and we're going to be here every step of the way to make sure that you do succeed.
Yeah, that's what I think makes more sense. Like, if you really are a pain in the ass, then get the fuck out. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Thanks for your time. And I have a million other questions because we're just onboarding, but we're going to tear the ass out of this.
Well, however I can help, let me know.
Yeah.
Let's see, any other questions in here? I don't have the Facebook group pulled up on this. Should probably
I got
do
a
it.
quick question. You probably ran into this a couple of times, but like it's a silly thing. Like I kind of do, like it's similar issue that he's talking about with like onboarding, but just like I've done onboarding calls with people, and then like sometimes they're just like it's this stupid simple thing, but like they just don't have a Facebook page right now, and then they're like taking so much time to create one, and they're not using the SaaS product sometimes. So like I'm just wondering like how you might nudge people to do that, or if you're able to use like one page sometimes with multiple clients. I don't know if that's an option, but
So I absolutely hate IT support, especially with clients. I will do as much of it myself as possible. So if they don't have a page, I can make a Facebook page in 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be pretty, but it'll be there. And then I just make them an admin and kind of tell them to deal with it. If they want their own, they can go make it. And 9 times out of 10, they don't. They just stick with what I made. So
yeah, that's what I'm figuring right now, because like that's what I've done for agency clients, and they never cared about owning the page anyway. So I'm just thinking like if I just do that for this too, and if that makes sense. So
yeah, I get it done as quickly as possible, and with whatever's going to be the least amount of pain.
yeah, I think it's like a resistance point for a lot of people. Like they're like thinking way too much about it, and
Yeah.
like what they want to name the page and everything. And I have agency clients that literally never cared about it, have been closing deals, and it's just like I just need to get these people up and running and have them stop procrastinating.
Yeah, it's not permanent. If they want a new one, they can go make a new one. And that's what I tell
Right.
plenty of people, right? And I use it as leverage if it's still on the sales call. I don't know. I don't have a Facebook page. I'll make it for you. I'll make it for you right now so you can keep it, even regardless of if you come in or not, just because I want to help. Right.
I like that. Yeah.
So
Forrest, if I may ask a quick question about some of the stuff that you said. You mentioned about how you got someone to come in right away, and within 24 hours you made $2,000. Now, when you said that, I'm thinking that I don't know if it's true, that probably the way it was some business person or a doctor who put some ads on Facebook and they got some sales. Is that what happened?
so with our specific offer with life insurance, we had all of our own templates built out within UpHex, and our onboarding process, including the training, takes about 45 minutes total. So after 45 minutes, that client had launched their own ads. They had run ads before, so Facebook approved their ads really quick. They start generating a couple of final expense leads, and they put the work in. They actually called their leads, which was nice. And so they were able to pretty quickly have good conversations and make a couple sales for themselves.
Okay. Now let me ask you, if obviously I can ask you 1,000 questions, but I think the shortcut would be, if I joined with you guys, you would give me all the training that everything. You would basically teach me from A to Z, because again, this is a very new industry, and I like Sam very much. He's got that aura about him that that I can connect with. So my question, I guess, is if I plug into your system, what will you be able to? How will you be able to help me? I guess that's a good question.
I don't think I would be able to, because our system is designed for life insurance agents. So unless you're licensed to sell life insurance in your state, our system would probably seem pretty boring for the most part, because all of our training is around how to use the snapshot that we built out specifically for life insurance, right? How to tag the leads, how to connect your calendar, some of the basics, but for the most part, it's all life insurance.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions for me? These are some good questions.
So you say you're right now, like you're not really prospecting to bring on clients, you're more on the back end, right?
Yes, we'll be prospecting, or everything will start to I'll be a lot more active Monday. That's when we'll have all of our new software stuff tested and proven. And so I'll be right in the trenches on Monday, which will be exciting. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to figure out like some of my messaging and stuff like that for DMs, because I kind of stopped scaling my agency at one point, and now I'm kind of getting back into it with SaaS. So I'm just getting back into the whole, like, you know, the trenches of everything when it comes to getting clients. But what do you think has been like some of your favorite ways to, I know you kind of explained it earlier, like some of the DMing and stuff like that, but what's been your favorite client acquisition method?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think my favorite is probably paid ads, because it's the least amount of work, right? Reaching out through DMs and posting is probably the most beneficial way.
Okay.
Cost per acquisition is very, very low. And even with cold email, cost per acquisition is very low. And if you can do it right, then it's extremely valuable. If I was skilled enough in copywriting, I'd probably only stick with DMs and cold email, but I'm not that skilled. I need paid ads. So I think it really just depends on the offer as well. Because if it's an offer that someone can't refuse, or that someone would get fired for saying no to, then absolutely run paid ads. Like, get as many eyes on that as possible. But if you can work the hand-to-hand conversations a little bit more, then absolutely go that route, because the business will be a lot more profitable.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Because I will just talk about what I've been working on, because I can talk about data all day. And believe me, data is very boring. So
I had a follow-up to what we were chatting about before, and I'll just leave it at that. And then again, have you seen anybody just do full out automation, so that a client comes through a lead, they go to the sequencing steps, they go to the automated videos, they process, and then they go into production with the self-selected template, and then they go into actual full final like build out? Have you seen anybody have that success? And again, I probably just haven't had enough experience on finding that like total experience to be linear. It's kind of all over the place sometimes. So there's a lot of if, ands, and buts. Like if they have a valid Facebook account, like there's a whole bunch of steps. But I'm just curious if you've seen anybody who's been able to complete that task, because that would be, sort of what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, there's a lot of free resources out there on YouTube that talk about, and even in the Go High Level group. I have a specific contact that I know and I've worked with a lot, and I can connect you guys if you'd like, but he's the one that built everything out for me. He is very, very knowledgeable, and rumor has it he will be even able to start replacing some of those like very basic onboarding steps with Go High Level, like adding a domain, assigning users. Basically, rumor has it, and I say rumor, but he's the one that told me, but I think it's exciting. He's actually building a program that will open up a window on your computer, go to the specific sign-in page, you'll sign in and actually go through each of the steps, putting information in, like where it's supposed to go, checking the boxes, hitting save, all of those steps, and it will do it 100% automated.
Please, I'm sure we'd all love to find this resource and be able to engage with that person.
Yeah, I will. I'll see if I can get him in the group and get you guys all connected.
Cool. Yeah, because I think we're gonna have to take the lumps obviously up front with the initial clients that are coming on board. I get it. I'm not opposed to it. I think it's just if there are people who've already been down the path, I'd like to be able to mimic them.
Yeah. And after the call, we can connect and I can show you kind of what our automation system looks like and how he built it out.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Kind of just piggybacking off of what he was talking about before, something that you were mentioning was like not giving them any permissions until they go through the course. Are you doing that through high levels workflows, or are you doing that through like Zapier? What are you doing that through?
So we have it set up in Make. So when that so we use the SaaS configurator with high level, right? So new account, the user all gets set up right away. So we basically recapture that information on the Make side, and then we turn all of their permissions off.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it was like something outside of high level.
Yeah. But I mean, if my friend Tom can get his system up and running, then it'd be able to replace Make and Zapier and a whole bunch of stuff. You just need some extra screen room to let it run. It's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get him in the group. All right, any other questions? Nothing? Absolutely, Jesse. Have a good one.
Forrest,
Yes.
I'm sorry I got disconnected and I had to come back to the actual website. I'm glad this works. Can I ask you a few more questions on the same line if we got time? Otherwise,
Yeah, I think we have time. I'm not seeing too many or really any questions come through right now, so we got time.
okay, thank you so much, Forrest. So in terms of the first question, you were helping me out with reaching out and kind of like how to set up the call and all of that. And I'm on a strategy session with them. I guess my question to you when it comes to the close kind of deal, this is more of a soft kind of a close. This is kind of like, let's just leave it open for a few days and let them think about it. How would you approach, once you went through the strategy session, how would you approach that stage?
I think it depends on preference as well as price point. Because if I'm selling something to you at $500, I'm not going to have two calls. That's anyone can swing $500, right? If I'm pitching you something that's going to cost you $5,000 every month, I will probably do two calls to make sure that you are qualified for what we have to sell, right? That you're our ideal prospect, you have the revenue in place, and you have the scalability in place, right? So with most SaaS offers, I think anything under like 1,500, even 2K a month, really most things can be a one pitch close or one call close. I think it just really depends on how you framework it, right? Because you can have that strategy call or those strategy questions before you jump on a call, right, in the DMs and or right at the beginning of the call. And if they don't qualify, you end the call, you wish them best of luck. And if they do qualify, you simply continue through.
Gotcha. Okay, and then I've got another question, if I may,
Go for it.
and that is on the onboarding. Now, as you started, I think it was you who started the conversation, or it might have been a video that I watched, a training that I watched before, is that know your strengths, double up on your strength, and throw the rest away, and let other people do the other stuff. Now, my weakness is technology. I'm like the business person that you bring in, and you leave me in there. After a day, you lose me. Now, obviously, this is going to be my business. So, how would you? If maybe you can give me a suggestion? How can I get somebody to help me with that aspect of things? Even if I make less money in the beginning, it's okay. But how can I let somebody handle the fulfillment, the onboarding, all that, and all I want to do is sales?
Mhm.
What would you say about that?
I would say go find a sales position. There's no need to run a business and have all that additional stress when you could just be doing sales full time for someone who can already take care of all of that and deal with all the other stress of running a business. I wouldn't. Yeah, there's no. I don't know, and that's just my take, right? Like if you want to focus on sales, you like talking to people, you like getting that yes and collecting that card information at the end, stick with that. Make yourself more valuable, learn how to sell more bigger ticket items, and go get the commission without the responsibility of maintaining that client, right? Or without the responsibility of making sure that they are performing well with the service or that they're using the product correctly. When you can make the same, if not more, than running the actual business itself. It's going to be a lot less stress.
That's something to think about. Or get somebody to handle that aspect of things.
Yeah. And again, those are just my thoughts. But to answer your question a little bit more specifically, I would find a VA that you like and trust and get them set up on payroll and help them write out and have them help you write out the SOPs in place to work the technology that it needs to work and make sure that they can capture your vision for what you need the tech to do, and then work with them and just work with them, make sure everything is running smoothly. And of course, learn as much as possible.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions, guys? I promise I don't bite too hard.
Maybe I can ask some question about UpHex itself. since nobody's asking any questions.
Let's see what I can do.
Okay. So, I watched a few videos, and what I understand is the strength of UpHex, the limitation that it removes, is I, as a business person, I have a limitation. I really don't want to deal with the technicalities. It moves it all away. I open it, this is what I want. I choose the ad, boom, it runs. I put in the amount of money, boom, it runs. Is this basically how that works?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of selling that product, I guess for me to make a profit on it, I would have to white label it. How would you approach this? Because if I wanted to sell this, obviously you're selling it at 150. In order for me to make a profit, I need to, my time and all of that, I'm going to have to up it. So I'm going to have to white label it. Is that how it works?
Excuse me. UpHex is almost out of the box white labeled because of how it integrates directly within Go High Level. So really, the thing that's going to take up most of your time is going to be making sure High Level works the way you want it to work, right? That you have the campaign set up, you have landing pages available, and you have some sort of support or understanding of how or what questions may come up from a user. But almost out of the box, UpHex is white labeled because they
Gotcha.
don't get access to the back end of the platform or all the metrics.
So it's it's not a standalone. It has to be plugged into the Go High.
It doesn't have to be, but I think if you're doing a done with you or done for or done do it yourself, done with you and do it yourself type service, then yeah, it's almost out of the box white labeled just because of how they have it interfacing with Go High Level.
Okay. Now look, I've done some sales before. I'm very good at it. I guess people, I don't know why. It's not even what specific things I say. People just buy. Something like that is, like you said, $500. It's a no-brainer.
Mhm.
The problem that I foresee is not bringing them in. It's once they're in, they're leaving. Because of so how do we handle that? I know you touched about the training and all of that, but if you can elaborate, just give me a little bit specifically on that.
Yeah, I actually had a call about this the other day with my new partners that I just merged with, because life insurance agents, I can't tell you how many times I've been working with life insurance agents. They have made $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 worth of sales from our system, and including their ad spend, they've spent maybe $1,000, right? Like incredible return, and they still leave. So and it's purely shiny object syndrome for the most part. So what we're trying to focus on is continuing that wow factor, right? Getting them to come in that first month, maybe even for the second month, they're just blown away with how the system works and how well it works, right? And then taking that experience and then just continuing it through the months. And what we're actually doing is we're actually going to be pulling back a lot of the features that we do. And we're going to be releasing it to that specific prospect or to that user at every couple months, right? So month 3 is 104 bi-weekly newsletters that they can email out to their client base. Month 3, they get access to that. They can go in, make sure it's all set up the way they want it to, and they can start sending it out. That's a wow factor, right? month 4, month 5, hey, now they can start selling universal index life insurance policies. Provide the training, show them the ads, we'll show them the landing pages, continuing that wow factor, right? And just letting them know as well, like, hey, this was updated last week. Enjoy. We made a small change, so you're going to see improvements on responses in this area. Enjoy. Just so that they can constantly see that it's being worked on and improved in the background. And they're going to hopefully appreciate that and continue sticking around and not be scared to speak up when they aren't having a great experience and ask for a little bit of support.
That's I like that. Wow factor. A continual wow factor experience.
Yeah.
I like that.
And if you look at what Go High Level does, that's exactly what they do. Every week, a couple times a week, Sean goes on, he releases a video, and it's wow, Go High Level is going to be able to do that soon. Wow, Go High Level is able to do this now. And that's how people continually stick around, because there's always improvements, there's always a next step, and there's always, wow, this is exciting. I can implement this way, right? And we just want to be able to extend that to our own users.
Cool.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that's it's actually, I like that approach. I think I'm going to incorporate, I will incorporate it into everything that I do. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
It's a philosophy that I ascribe to, but never thought about it in the way you brought it up. So I'll be using a lot of that.
Good. Yeah. I think it's just part of having that roadmap, right? Roadmap for SaaS and roadmap with that customer journey as well.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. When can I be in touch with Sam? He's a busy guy. This is a very good thing you guys are doing. Is he going to give the class next week?
I think we have another guest taking it over next week. So I think he's going to be out of town for a hot minute out in Hawaii. Yeah, so he's going to be having a good time out there. Andy, do I see a hand raised?
Yeah, quick question. You mentioned something about landing pages and with obviously with life insurance. I've got a client, it's actually my dad and a business partner of his that's doing reverse mortgages. So I'm getting ready to relaunch ads for them. But then as I've learned about UpHex, I was considering, because he networks like nobody I've ever seen before. He's like always at a networking event with realtors and lenders. So, and he's talked about, once this works for him, really leaning in and reaching out to those people he's networked with to get them on board. Mm-hmm. So I was considering, instead of really offering two things: one, the done for you, basically manage the ads at a higher level, but then also it just seemed very for a mortgage broker or lender to be able to not have to pay $2,500 a month and just be paying a few $100 a month and basically take the templates that we proved and implement them. So really my question is, as far as you're doing landing pages through UpHex, and has that worked well over lead forms? Because I was running lead form ads for reverse mortgages, and it's a little bit tough because obviously you can't call out the people I want to call out because of it's a special. So what I was working on doing was, we were running some video ads and then retargeting the people that watch the video ads that should be the right people then for the lead form. But with not being able to really ask enough questions in the lead form, I'm looking to relaunch them by sending them to basically just a survey where I can ask credit score, I can ask age, I can ask all those things. Mm-hmm. Have you found with life insurance it's worked better to do like a survey instead of the lead forms?
That's a really good question. I think it's a little industry specific. And I say that because life insurance works great and it works just fine for Facebook lead forms. But the life insurance industry as a whole, and all of those pay per lead companies out there, everyone is starting to get tired of Facebook lead forms and the overall quality of Facebook lead forms. And I've been saying this for a couple months with life insurance, that landing pages are going to be coming in and they are going to start playing a bigger role. We saw that in real estate. We saw that in the mortgage industry. We saw that with a lot of different industries, right? Dentists, physical therapists. And so I think it really just depends on where your niche is. With mortgages, you're probably looking more at landing pages because you're going to have the better quality and you can ask those specific questions that you need to ask, right?
Mhm.
So, and that's one of the things that we cover in our little training membership is the difference between running a Facebook lead form and using one of our landing pages in the snapshot and how to do that. So,
Okay. And life insurance is on the niche that I was considering as well, because I got licensed last year. I bought a batch of leads, and I'm not really a salesperson anyway, but as I was calling through, having also kind of begun in marketing a little bit, as I'm calling through the leads, I'm realizing, man, these leads are I was told as I was being onboarded, these are people that want our help. These are people that want us to call them. And then as I'm calling them, I'm realizing some of these people don't even realize what they filled out. Some of these people, I think some of the things, ads they probably filled out were kind of bait and switch. They're expecting one thing and now they're getting called from 5 different agents. And so, man, if I could connect with, what's that?
Is that FFL?
It was, yes. I mean, I know several people that make incredible money with them. But I guess I probably know just as many that struggle to make any sales because of the type of leads that they're buying and all that. So my thought was, man, if I get them producing their own leads where they're on the phone with the person 5 minutes after they filled out the form and they already know that this person's going to call me, it just seemed like it would be so much better.
Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely is. And when you look at it from like business operations standpoint, it makes so much more financial sense to pay a couple $100, generate your own leads, and knowing that those leads are exclusive, they actually clicked in and filled out the form that you were advertising, instead of going out and buying leads at $25, $30 a piece and only getting in touch with 10% of them and only being able to pick 3% of that. Right.
Yeah. When you're running ads for them, or as they're setting up their own through UpHex now and all that, are they're doing it through they're creating their own Facebook page and generating them that way, or do you generate them through a general page but the ads are specific to them?
So they need to be using their own Facebook business page. If they don't have one, we make one really quick for them so they don't have the excuse to not come on board.
Okay.
And we help make sure that everything's connected correctly, and then they're just running ads from that.
Okay. And then I think the last question on that, I know I got off from reverse mortgages to life insurance, but there are two that I'm kind of going back and forth on, because I know a lot of people in life insurance, and then with reverse mortgage, I've got my dad and kind of a connection in there. But with anybody like obviously there's a bunch of different companies, but I know several in Family First. Is there ever any pushback from anyone higher up of someone making their own page, or they don't care that their agents do that?
No, they don't care.
Okay.
And a few times that there's a couple agencies out there like PHP, people helping people, something like that, where they're a little finicky about it. And it really it's more of that like corporate side, and it really just boils down to, hey, we're not going to be talking about the actual company. It's going to be a generic name. There's no branding, there's no colors. It is talking about you as a life insurance agent or you as the mortgage officer and that person alone. And that usually checks all the boxes for corporate.
Okay, cool. Do you, I know it's the last question, my last question, but do you sell your snapshot for life insurance?
So that would be, I mean, we can talk about that
Okay,
in the DMs, but I would need to circle. Normally I'd say yes, but now that I have business partners, I need to circle them in on the
Okay.
conversation.
yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, we can talk about it outside of the Zoom call.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I think that is our time. We're now 5 minutes after the hour or past the top of the hour. So I think we're going to be wrapping this up unless anyone has one last question. No. All right. Well, you guys.
I got one.
Did I hear someone had a
Yeah,
question?
I got a quick question. Just
Okay.
so do you recommend, as you get a lot of clients and some clients don't have business pages or ad accounts, like do you recommend creating the business page but running the ads from your ad account? Because
No,
my ad account is starting to get like really, really full, and I'm starting to wonder. So do
yeah,
you like just when you create a
we
business page, do you create a business manager for them too?
so we do everything out of their accounts. We use Leadsy to connect to their Facebook business page and connect to their Facebook business ad account. If they don't have one, we have them run through that process real quick. And then that way we can just run everything out of their own account. And then UpHex makes it easy so that if we need to relaunch campaigns or do anything with those campaigns, we can simply log into their sub account and go right in and make whatever edits we need to or relaunch whatever we need to instead of having to go through the painful ads manager, right?
Definitely. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about. I looked at Leadsy before, but I like staying in the high level ecosystem and UpHex and everything. So that's why I was just pushing that off. But I'll probably have to do that.
Yeah, I've gone through the manual process for a long time. It wasn't until like November or December that I actually tried out Leadsy. As soon as I tried it, it was a done deal. Like it was a no-brainer. So
Okay. All right. I think I'll give them a shot. Thank you. Thank you. This was awesome.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this recording.